Hello again, students. Welcome to part 2 of your next steps in your A3. So you know that in addition to figuring out, how you're going to move from A2 into A3 in terms of focusing in on your issue and likely a very particular location, but you will also need to pick a real life person who is a stakeholder in your issue, who can actually enact the steps of your proposal to propose your A3 to. So you will need to be thinking about who this person might be and engaging in some research about this person, their values, their concerns, etc., so that you can use the logical appeals to best speak to those concerns and make your proposal a go proposal for them. So I'm going to walk you through some considerations as you move into the research zone of your A3. So first, you'll need to have identified, of course, what the specific problem is that's stemming from your A2 that you want to identify in your proposal. And you'll need to consider of how this problem appears locally, for example, within CSU, Fort Collins, Larimer County, or within another specific location. But the more specific you can get, the better, because it's unlikely that you will be able to, require that all colleges, have vegan Fridays, and then you would write to who would be the single stakeholder person that you would write to in order to have that happen. You would not be able to find that person. So thinking locally is a good idea. And then you're going to need to figure out who the individual person is who is capable of receiving the proposal, accepting it, and moving forward with your plan. In other words, what authority does this person have to put your proposal into action? What is this person's name? Find that actual human being. What concrete solution can you propose to this person that person could actually attempt? So you're going to start needing to be thinking about these things and researching these things. Your stakeholder research might include things like, what is their job description? What are their responsibilities? Who do they work for? What are the values of this company and organization? How knowledgeable are they on this issue? How much background information, then, are you going to need to provide in your proposal? What experience do they have with this problem? What do they have to lose or gain? What does it affect? Why does it affect them, and in what way? You will need to know this so that you can speak to what they have to lose or gain in accepting your proposal or not accepting your proposal. Of course, you want them to accept the proposal. What do they have to gain? What do they have to lose if they don't accept your proposal? What is the intersection between that stakeholder and your issue? What are the stakeholders' values? How will you be able to build credibility with this person? What do you need to learn about the issue to prove you know what you're talking about and that your proposal should be considered? You might think that your stakeholder probably has lots of proposals that they could be sorting through and very limited time to do so. So you need to have engaged in the research that makes it so your proposal is compelling and that you speak specifically to that stakeholder's values, etc. So moving forward with your research, you should know, what has your stakeholder done to solve the problem already? And more generally, what has been done to solve the problem already. So for example, if you were going to propose to CSU, food insecurity is a big issue among college students. Here's the percentage of food insecure students we have on CSU's campus. I think we should have a mobile food pantry. Well, it turns out that CSU does already have food pantries. So if you were to propose that, you would be showing that you hadn't really done enough research because you didn't know the very basic thing, which is that CSU has food pantries, that sort of thing. What are your stakeholders' thoughts and beliefs about the problem? What do you and your stakeholder have in common with the issue? And then you need to consider really closely how much of your A2 research could be persuasive for your stakeholder. How will you need to supplement that research? How will you need to change the presentation of that research in order to appeal to a new specific stakeholder and in a new genre? Remember that your research might account for finances, logistics, potential materials, past efforts, budget, etc. So this might be part of your research, possible partnerships, etc. Remember, again, the proposal as a genre asks you identify the problem within the problem section and state what the problem is and discuss its exigence. So when you present your proposal, which is your idea for the solution, it's imperative that you've listened in on the conversation to know what has been tried before, what has or hasn't worked. It's also essential that your proposal idea isn't already being enacted. You might consider including field research. We have a very limited time frame for A3. It's due the 27th. That's on Monday. That's 2 weeks from today. So it's probably unlikely that you do field research, but if you find a way to incorporate it, as I said in the last video, I will certainly take this under special consideration, that you have done the extra effort to go and get field research. Other websites that may be of interest to you as you think about your stakeholder, company websites, local organizations, company Facebook pages or Facebook groups, city government information. You might dig into smaller departments or offices within larger institutions, like you might look at dining services page at CSU if you were thinking about that. You might look for reports that contain information that might be helpful, like about pages, public information. You might look at contact info for people you may want to email. Seems like people are spending a lot of time on email these days, so that might be a good route to go. But you should be engaging in this research so that you can submit your audience analysis and that you have chosen an audience by Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. Reach out with questions.